Welcome to the Storyline's Marketing Podcast. In this season, we explore how marketers use AI to get better results for less money. Over the next weeks, we interview marketers who show us an AI-based marketing process they actually use daily. In previous episodes, we've learned how to develop a buyer persona, a marketing plan, or how to prepare for a podcast interview in less than 10 minutes. Today, we have a bit of a work in progress. We will get a sneak preview of how to write the outline for an online course with the help of ChatGPT. Doing an online course is something that probably a lot of solopreneurs dream about, but I would think only few get it fully done. So something that reminds me of my days in film, where I would meet a lot of filmmakers who were working in a film script, but I think only 1% of them ever got the script read. Our guest today, Lory Niculae, has developed several courses, so she knows what she's talking about, and she runs a marketing agency. So the courses that she did were for the employees of the marketing agency. She knows how much work just the outline of the course creates, so that's why we're today focusing on putting together a high-quality outline for a course. She will share how she's developed and validated an online course in minutes, not days, and she will also share several plugins that help her refine the prompts and also check the potential response from the audience. So these things I found pretty cool. I hope you like them as well. And now let's listen to Lory. Welcome back to the Storyline's Marketing Podcast. And today I'm excited to have somebody here who I've known for, a couple of years now, but we've never met in person. She's a fellow member of the Entrepreneurs Organization, EO, and she shares, like me, a passion for marketing and runs an agency. Lory, welcome to the show, and tell our listeners about your background.
Simon, really nice to meet you, and hello to all of your listeners. I am Lory, or Loredana Elena Niculae. I am originally from Romania, but more recently part of a few organizations that have gone global, some of which I am the entrepreneur that originated, the business or the organization idea. I have over 20 years in marketing management for B2B companies, in particular for B2B tech companies. At some point, I decided to have my own agency because I used to start working with startups that wanted to scale up really fast. I was doing that in a couple of years, but then I was still in some sort of contractual relationship, even if I left the company, usually post-merger or post-acquisition. And then it became natural at some point that I found my own agency. That is called NNC Services. Meanwhile, I founded a few more business and tech companies, even biotech or more health tech or fintech related. And one of the, more recent babies is B2B Academy. And B2B Academy is a way that I can give back, basically to teach our people marketing ideas, concepts. I think we'll talk a bit more about that as we go along.
Yeah. Thank you. That sounds very interesting. And today we are doing a bit of an experiment because usually with our guests we have a fully fledged, proven process that we discuss. And today I'm very keen to hear what you're going to share with us because you are developing a course, and the sentence is in present tense. So you're currently doing it. And what you will be sharing with us are life insights from the process as you go through that. And I'm excited to see what you're doing because I'm also mulling the idea of putting out a course and haven't really thought about how I can leverage AI to do this. So I'm very keen to learn from you. So let's talk about the situation that you found yourself in when you came up with the decision or with the idea to do a course, and you sort of thought about, okay, what do I need to do? What are the problems? What are the challenges? What was this situation?
So during COVID, we actually launched the B2B Academy. This was meant to teach people, during COVID, many businesses had to go digital or even up their game if they were already digital, do it much faster, much better. And small companies needed overnight to compete with really large competitors to survive. We had the knowledge from the agency, and but not everybody, all the B2B small companies could afford an agency. So in order to help, we launched the B2B Academy and even a community of support for such companies, where we started training entrepreneurs, CEOs, marketers on digital marketing, from very basic ideas like how to make a positioning, how to promote even your own person as a maybe thought leader in a certain space, all the way to very advanced concepts like ABM, account-based marketing, to get those big enterprise accounts or to reach to those really large sales and high tickets. Now, more recently, because we started seeing more advanced trends in AI, I was thinking, okay, what is, a way we can teach AI? First of all, I don't think anybody's an expert because this is very recent on the market, right? So whomever says I'm an expert, they're actually maybe more advanced in using it, experimenting more, or just playing around more with it. But we were actually using this before anybody else, because there are tools, AI tools, that have been in marketing and in tech for a while before this massive adoption that was actually enabled by ChatGPT. And I saw, even with EO channels, the entrepreneurs organization, but even through our communities, people are asking, how can I teach my team, to use AI in marketing? How can I teach my team, my sales team, to use AI and so on? And even I was at some point a bit frustrated with some maybe newcomers into our team that were taking so long to learn about AI. But as you can imagine, I'm a busy person. I have a ton of passion for marketing and new ideas and new tech, but very little time. So I knew that if I have to do this as I did the other courses, to write them, to edit them, and so on, it's going to take 3 years and the technology will change. So I had to do this overnight. So what I did is I looked at, okay, what can I do to have this course, at least a basic level, that I can give away for free to anybody that wants to learn the basics of AI marketing or AI sales, and then we'll figure out the next steps. The more advanced stuff, someone, if you give, sometimes if you give someone, how do they call it, a string, they will learn how to fish, right? So I said, okay, I'm gonna try to do that. And I went to online to figure out how to build a course with AI. Apparently, I was like, oh, there must be a tool for this. Well, there's no tool to build a course with AI. And for once, there's not a tool for that. There's amazing tools for, predicting how a social media post will run, for doing a PowerPoint presentation, a blog post, and so on, but there's no tool for that. And while playing around with ChatGPT, I noticed that there is a community with OpenAI on Discord. By the way, it's an open community that is comprised of more advanced users of ChatGPT, but not just ChatGPT, even DALL-E or even all of their tools. So I joined that community on Discord, and in there's amazing support and help if you want to perfect your prompts, or if you want to do something new and use it in a different way. So I started looking through that, and what do you think? Someone else before me actually put together, or let's say optimized, a flow and a prompt on how to do a course with the help of ChatGPT with AI. So I was like, oh, this is the answer to all of my questions. But as you know, it's not that easy as we wanted. So it still took a bit of time to understand how to do it. I had the platform. So I have, let's say, B2B Academy as a platform for my courses. And I had, let's say, the basic idea of what I want to achieve. I even had some benchmarks, and I knew who am I addressing. So I was able to use ChatGPT to come up with the content of the course even the content of the landing page promoting the course, even, let's say, social media posts or blog posts or whatever to promote the course. So like a full-fledged solution for my need.
Cool. That sounds good. But yeah, I mean, you already touched on one thing that I think is a big challenge is to know what you want exactly and then use a process and some prompts. And if results are bad, then often it's because people don't really know what they want. But yeah, let's look into what you have done or what you're doing.
Sure. So what I like to use ChatGPT and AI in general is like this amazing assistant. And you, like when you have an assistant, ideally you are very clear with what that assistant of what you are trying to achieve. This prompt, again, is something that I took and I optimized from a prompt that was given by someone else in that community. If I want to perfect a prompt myself, I use Perfect Prompt. Do you know about this tool, Perfect Prompt?
No, tell me.
Yeah?
Tell me.
Okay. So Perfect Prompt, sure. I will even show you how this works. So basically, Perfect Prompt is a tool where you go in and you perfect your prompt. Let's say you're not an expert and you have no idea how to perfect the prompt. So what you go in there is you say your original prompt. Again, this is also available as a ChatGPT plugin, but let's say you don't have the paid version of ChatGPT. You have the original version of ChatGPT, which is free, and you give it a prompt. You can also select the models, let's say, and they have even image models. It's a really neat tool, which I highly recommend if you're not experimented with ChatGPT. And you can mention the original prompt, like, I want to build a course for marketing and sales, let's say for AI for marketing and sales for beginners in B2B tech. Don't worry about spelling. The AI is smart enough to know that you're not a native English speaker, so it's going to understand. And it's going to give you the optimized prompt. You can even see before and after. You can do all sorts of cool things. By the way, everything that I'm sharing here is the free version, so everybody can access, let's say, this is not the paid version of the tool, okay? So you see, it already refined and added a lot of context to this. Now, if you are really advanced, it has even a more, if you looked when we entered, it has an advanced, which is a step-by-step prompt where you get asked questions and you can, step by step, you can improve your prompt. Yeah. So if we go back, so if I wouldn't have that community and that original template of a prompt, I would have started directly with Perfect Prompt. And I gave it, okay, what I needed to do, okay? And this is, I even pasted, if you see the very basic one, you see I didn't even customize it. I wanted to see what it does, okay? So basically like a very beginner level, I don't know anything about AI, because one trick is when you teach someone that is a beginner to have a very beginner mindset, let's say. Okay, so let's say if I'm a beginner, I have no idea how even to customize this on the experience level and so on. So this is what I got in return, which is a really decent, trust me, I've done courses before from very simple to very advanced. It's not easy to get to this point of clarity if you do it by itself. You would take at least a couple of days, if not a week, to write it in such a well laid out manner, with the objectives, with the lessons, with the detailed plan of what you're going to say and so on. Okay, so even if you are, let's say, an amazing teacher, to get to this point is quite a lot. It takes a lot of time. So I asked it, is that all? So sometimes asking ChatGPT, is that all? It's going to provide you with a new outlook. Sometimes I ask it to critique itself. So I'm like, okay, critique yourself. Is this better? Can you do this better? And so on. In here, I added a link as a content benchmark, but I didn't have the plugin to read links enabled. So as you can see, it says it doesn't know about this course. I found that this course was really interesting, so I wanted to use it as a benchmark against that one. I used ChatGPT with a plugin to come up with a benchmark based on other courses that I have seen. And as you see, I also asked it, make it more human, original, and so on. Okay, so now it took another step of the content, but sometimes even ask, critique yourself or compare yourself against best practices and so on. That helps quite a lot. And basically now, so this is a prompt that I gave it. Okay, I said that I benchmark in another, let's say, conversation, the course description that it gave me with other courses in this space and the best practices. I came up with this one. So right now it gave me an updated course curricula based on the information that I provided. I could imagine that, for example, if you already have a course, if you want to improve it, this is the step that you would take. So basically you would paste your content here. For example, right now, I have a book on the writings. I started it actually a couple of years back, but I never finished it. And now I'm using ChatGPT. I pasted my book chapter by chapter, and I'm using ChatGPT to update the book and to finish it. Okay, so basically it's a similar process. So in here,
I wonder how many people have books sitting around that are sort of half finished because they lost the energy. And now here's ChatGPT and save all these books that have been sitting in some drawers for years. And even film scripts coming from the film industry. They're like, for every finished film script, there are 99 that never got finished. So now
exactly. Yeah. So again, what I think is amazing, it's really a productivity tool, right? And I see, initially everybody was excited about it, but if you ask the same questions, even from a person, you get the same results. And people really got bored easily because they couldn't understand that they can use it in every aspect of their life, actually. And what's interesting is it helps you. Sometimes we put 80% of our effort to come to, almost the end of an amazing work. Is it a book or a course or, an amazing landing page or an amazing business? But then that last mile requires such a stretch that we cannot do it. And right now we actually have a lot of tools to help us, close this gap and pass this threshold.
Absolutely. I feel very often now using ChatGPT or AI tools that I realize how much time we spend on, even if it's like creative work, on menial tasks. I mean, just doing the research to come up with a structure. It's sort of like there's so many similar courses, so we are basically doing something that a lot of people have already done. So why do we have to do this? And that is sort of the thing that really surprises me, to realize how much time we spent on not really creative tasks, and we don't even notice that this is not really creating value. It's just something we have to do because there's no other way, or there was no other way to get that from other people's samples that we can copy and paste to then build on these foundations.
Yeah. And even with this course, what's interesting is that the knowledge of this course is up there. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel, especially for beginners. Okay? So basically, beginners have to know the first steps. The value that I bring is not this that can be put together even by an AI. But the value that I bring is that I have experience and I can show them in a way that they can understand, right? And they don't have to spend 80 hours a week as I do with marketing and AI tools, I will, let's say, strip this information and give them just the pieces to get them started and to get them, on the road. So for that, again, it may be counterintuitive. The value in general in courses, it's not the curricula itself, right? Because you read 10 books, all the curriculums up there. The value is actually the person delivering it. Do they have experience? Do they have enough teaching experience? Do they know how to teach adults, which is a very different skill than teaching children or than academic teaching? So it's, very counterintuitive that you would write this with ChatGPT, but it's your own course. Basically, the person that delivers the course, it's important, not necessarily the course curricula, which obviously, again, you can put together by reading 10 books on the topic,
Yeah.
So then I wanted, once I had this course, because again, we did courses before, I wanted to promote the course. So I started thinking of, okay, I need a landing page for the B2B Academy website. And I asked it, okay, here's, so give me content for a landing page on the B2B Academy website. Again, I'm in a lot of a rush all the day, so I didn't even have time to, let's say, perfect the English, but it understands how I write.
What you want.
So imagine that maybe you're not a native English speaker, but still this can really help you. So it wrote in here the content of the landing page exactly on the structure that I have the other courses laid out. Okay?
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, even suggesting how the header image could look like. This is really not well optimized at all. Like, this can be done 10,000 times better if you use a plugin like Prompt Perfect. So there's a plugin in the plugin store of ChatGPT, which you can enable. And while doing that, it's going to perfect your input to ChatGPT, so you could get a much more advanced.
So it's like the tool that you showed at the beginning, the prompt optimizer, but it's built in so you can use it in the workflow of what you do.
I can actually show it to you 1 second because I think it's taking a bit to load, but I'm going to stop sharing for a minute and then show you that plugin because it's really interesting. I think that ideally you would like to use such a prompt optimization plugin if you're not already an expert in ChatGPT. Okay, so let me share again my screen. I use a lot of plugins and I regularly check new plugins because there's new plugins coming up almost every day now. And for example, if you look at plugins here, there's a plugin for everything. I was just saying earlier that this is a visual plugin. Basically, with Creative Mind, you can generate images, for example. And there's SEO plugins and so on. You see this plugin, the Prompt Perfect, this will perfect your prompts, basically. So if you check this one out, I love this, the AI Council plugin, and I use it very often. Then there's this Prompt Perfect. Of course, there's even for health and fitness, and again, for every area. There's Ask Your PDF, which is amazing if you have long documents. Yeah, and so, but this was the one that I was referring to, the Prompt Perfect one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so let's go back to the course curriculum. Okay. Yeah, so basically, it got a bit further. So basically, this is, let's say, the process that I am following right now. And I follow the same process to come up with social media posts with a plan to market the course. Because, for example, a suggestion was that, use a freemium first of all, then go to a more advanced paid course and so on. So there's different things that I am doing based on the ChatGPT prompts, and it's, again, I did this as a very basic level, so not very advanced.
Yeah. So tell us, what are the next steps now with the course? Now that you've sort of gotten the outline and feedback and sort of you've played around, what are your plans? How are you going to move forward?
So the next step is to have this landing page up on the website, to add the blog post and to start promoting them through social media. This is all powered and enabled by AI. I was just sharing earlier that, for example, I can have the transcript of this conversation with a plugin from YouTube, a ChatGPT plugin from YouTube. I can summarize this, let's say, podcast, and I can use it in 3 blog posts to promote this course, because I already shared some of the profile that I'm targeting, some of the strategy and so on. Also, there is automatic generators of social media posts with certain predictive scores. So basically, there is tools to have the content put through something like Any Word or something like Okoya that I shared earlier, and they will generate automatically even predictive scores of how this will be adopted. Yeah, and in autumn, so I think in a couple of weeks after this podcast will be live, this will be available, so people can sign up on the website and have a test drive and see if it's really that interesting.
Okay,
and to actually provide feedback.
Yeah. Okay, so once you've walked through all these steps with the prompts, and you have sort of like the course written, what does the end product look like? Is it the video training? Is it video with a PDF? Is it a book? So give an idea of like, what is the end result of the whole thing once the course is done?
So the end result is going to be a series of 4 lessons that will be, let's say, have some sub-lessons under it. There will be all uploaded on a platform that we have on our website, on the B2B Academy. So someone that would be part of this should register for free, and they could see those lessons. All of the lessons will be accompanied by a lesson plan and by downloadable resources, for example, things like PDFs or tools that we will add extra, or even sometimes templates. For example, we have a lot of templates in these lessons. And at the end, they will even have a small certifications with all the B2B Academy courses, even the ones that are free. We provide the certification, and it's backed by some certifying organizations. And yeah, that's going to be the course, basically. That's going to be the end outcome. And I'd love to share it with you. So it's probably going to be available in the course notes.
So wrapping everything up, then how can people find you? How can they find the course once it's out? Give us a wrap here.
Sure. So b2b-academy.com is the website. And let me see if I can share my screen here. Okay, hopefully you can see this. In the B2B Academy website, you have different courses and other tools and resources to help you master marketing, B2B marketing in general, but also the aspects of AI marketing. I'm also host of a podcast on B2B marketing related topics, and you can find that on YouTube. I love connecting via LinkedIn. I think it's an amazing professional network. And I just launched a AI-powered newsletter. By the way, it was all written with AI, and it's getting traction like really fast, much more than I anticipated. So there's a ton of ways to get in touch with me, and I'd love to hear, your feedback on how do you use AI for marketing and sales? What are the most performing ways you've used, but also what are some of the challenges that you have? Because I love, solving those unsolvable problems in B2B marketing. And I think that because I'm in this gap between B2B and AI, I can do that at a much faster and more accelerated rate. So do come up with whatever challenges you have. I'd love to help.
Throw all your challenges at Lory and she will work with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, cool. thank you so much for sharing the progress you're doing with this course and how you approach this whole project. That's inspiration for me, and actually I already had an idea how I can apply this for a video that I'm planning to do, and I spent 2 hours today with my project manager working on this, and maybe I could have done the whole thing in 10 minutes had I used ChatGPT, but I just didn't think about it. Anyways, Lory,
and
thank you.
If you want, I can share all the prompts. So I can share the prompt flow if you want.
Please. Yes, absolutely.
Have someone else up there.
We're gonna put this together as a slideshow, and then people can see that slide by slide on LinkedIn when we release the podcast.
Amazing. Let's do that. Yeah.
Cool. Fantastic. Yeah, we could do a post share for the release, and then we can cross promote. Let's do that. Lory, thank you again for your time and for being so honest and sharing the work in progress. But it's such a fast-moving field. I think the best way to learn. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite, Simon.